Florida Maquis, I have a question. A few years ago, you were doing an investigation into this Pentagon network you had discovered all across the globe. These were some of my most favorite videos. Why did you stop doing those? And you used to talk about Antarctica a lot more than you do now. Why have you stopped doing that? Well, the answer? It's simple, but it's also complicated. And of course, I cannot reveal it here. There are things going on behind the scenes that just cannot be revealed in public. However, I can reveal them behind a paywall. And it's not about the money. It has to do with things in public versus things in private. There are folks that have inboxed me over at the Patreon channel and have asked this question over and over again, and many of them have nailed it. They've asked me specifically and directly, is this the reason that you stopped doing this? And when someone does that, I can confirm or deny. It's $1 per month, not per video, not per week. It's even less than that if you sign up for a year. Next week, I'm going to do a video laying this all out for you, laying out the whole Pentagon network, what it is, the issue with Antarctica, and why you don't hear me talk about it very much anymore here in public. Over the last 10 to 15 years, basically the entire history of YouTube, people have looked at satellite imagery in Antarctica and have alleged there's something else going on down there other than just wind, ice, rock, and snow and scientific research. They've showed images like this, and they say, well, look, this is a pyramid in Egypt. This mountain seems like it's just the basis of a pyramid. And, of course, mainstream science says, nope, that's just how mountains weather in perfectly square shapes with 4 equidistant sides. And people just believe it. We even have evidence in our skies of something else going on. We know these craft don't come from South America. They don't come from Asia. They don't come from Europe. And they're far beyond anything we have ever created. DARPA, they have no idea what this stuff is. Of course, when they try to discredit those who have looked into Antarctica, they show blurry images like this and say, you can't make anything of this. It's just way too blurry. There's just no way that this is anything other than just a normal, average, everyday mountain. To which I would reply, well, the largest known step pyramid in the entire world for decades, even centuries, was thought to be just a mountain. This is the same place, right and left here. This is what it looked like when it was all overgrown with trees, and somebody spotted something curious from a low-flying plane, and they went and investigated, and lo and behold, one of the greatest historical archaeological discoveries in South America, in the world. It's led to even more things being uncovered, and history has been rewritten. Just in the last 10 to 20 years, they have found, even off the west coast of Cuba, submerged, these exact same structures. They are found on virtually every continent on the planet, but yet mainstream science stubbornly says that Antarctica never had any civilizations, doesn't have any native advanced life forms, seals, penguins. That's about it. But what they conveniently leave out, talking about the pyramids, especially in Egypt, is that they were created to appear white. Bright white with a golden capstone. Now you'd have to ask yourself, why? Why would they need to appear white? Back on the 22nd of September 2019, this channel discovered an intact pyramid setting on the surface of Antarctica that looked very much like what we see in Egypt. We zoomed in. This is June 6, 2020, enhanced thermal imagery showing heat, showing the capstone, showing everything. Now, in today's video, I would like to give credit where credit is due. Another channel discovered something that he alleges Mr. MBB333 is some type of a TR-3B aircraft, but on the surface of Antarctica. However, many people in his comment section on his video have pointed something else out, and I have to tend to agree with his audience on this. Now, of course, this is Mr. MBB333. His channel, 515,000 subscribers, much bigger audience than mine. It's not his most recent video, but the one before. Very easy to find, and I just want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. This is his discovery. At 5 minutes and 55 seconds into his video, let me see if I can show you what the original is here. Okay, here's what he found. And it does. It looks like, when you look at just the dark part, it looks like a craft. But when you look closer, you really see a three-sided, three-dimensional image. And many in his comments, and you can go look at it, say this. It's like you can see a three-sided pyramid, and the most important part of the video is this 5 minute and looks like 54-second mark, where he points out just to the side of this structure, whatever it is, there is a square plot that has multiple right angles all around it. And now this is what got me thinking. This is a pyramid from Egypt. See this right here? This square area? This is the work area. This is where they prepared all of the stone. Over here to the far right is where they lived. What he found was a pyramid. He absolutely found a pyramid. We have found them before, but I'd like to show you a few other things in Antarctica besides this. Now, I know this is very difficult to see. You have to look at it and kind of adjust your eyes. Because initially, if you think TR-3B, you think this is the craft here, and you're looking at this part is the low part. The center here you have to see is the high part. And let me see if I can draw what I'm talking about here. This triangle that I'm drawing is the side facing you. And then there's the side over here that's in the shade, and the side over here that's in the shade. Let me clear that out. And up here is where the work area would have been. And let me zoom out. This is really the important part. You can see all around it. It's just this giant windswept plain. There's nothing like it anywhere around it. It's a very distinct structure. So Mr. MBB333, well done. Excellent find. Absolutely an excellent, excellent find. There's another structure very close to this. There's actually 3 or 4 that show a really great contrast to the naysayers who say this, oh, you're just misinterpreting data. Now you see this area over here. We're going to get over here in a minute. You see how this is much what you would expect. You see snow. You see the ground. You see kind of a mountain ridge here. You see the shadows. You can tell the light is coming from the top of the screen. going toward the bottom. But then all of a sudden, when you get over to the right, bizarro world just appears. You see two 90-degree angles, what looks like an entry, and then you see, honest to God, what looks like a fossil of an ancient serpent. If you look at this very closely, you can see the spine. You can see the front pectoral fin. You can even see the head. Right here. Why is this all visible? Because the snow is melting. The ice is melting. See, some people say, well, that's just a mountain ridge. Look at the equidistant shape of the ridges on the back. And now look at an actual ridge. Do these resemble each other at all? No. Of course they don't. This is beyond evidence for me that something is going to be discovered eventually in Antarctica that is going to change the world. It's going to rewrite history, and people are no longer going to even look at science the same way. We're going to look at them like we look at the people who were doing quote-unquote science in the 1500s. That's how much this is going to change the world. Mark my words. There's too much evidence. I have 350 videos of my own showing this over and over and over again. What would make all of these right angles? And the final thing I'll show is this. And if this doesn't convince you, I don't know what else will. See all of these gullies and crevasses in the snow? They all look fairly normal. They look like what you would expect. Nothing out of the ordinary. But let's look at this one. See the perfect lines? And then this perfect, like somebody literally took a skill saw, a circular saw, and began cutting. Look at this in the context of all of these others. You see how they're all imperfect? It's what you would expect. It's absolutely what you would expect. All of these got, weird shapes, and they're kind of lumpy, and they're uneven, and they're jagged. That's normal. Absolutely normal. All this is exactly what you would expect. This is not normal. This is not normal. And once again, to any naysayer, how could a camera get one area of an image perfectly right and another area of an image completely wrong in one shot? Either it would all be morphed and weird, or it would all be correct. Not going to pick and choose. Cameras don't pick and choose. Another pyramid has been revealed in Antarctica because of the melting ice and snow, a context of Antarctica that not a lot of people think of when they think of global warming or climate change or whatever they want to call it. They think of the sea level rise, and they think how it's going to affect Miami or low-lying cities all across the globe. They don't think of, well, what could be uncovered in Antarctica? Why? Because their masters in science have already told them, oh, it's only going to uncover rocks. There's nothing else down there. Even though on every other continent, whether it's cold or whether it's warm, whether it's sandy, whether it's swampy, flat, forested, they have found some type of a step pyramid. North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, even Australia. The very fact that the UFO report discounted and didn't even talk about Antarctica should give you a hint. And I'll leave it there. God bless. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. If you want the real scoop, join us on Patreon. $1. God bless. Take care.